All right, welcome everybody. It's Dr. Keith. How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday. Interesting day in the markets. Okay. Olga, nice to see you. Can everybody see my Thinkorswim charts? Just want to make sure before we get moving along. Hi, AJ. All right, great. Mike, nice to see you. Okay, so again, let's go through a typical analysis here. The markets themselves, as we know, we had that 3-day sell-off. And then today it looks like anyway at the close here, granted the futures are still open, we're getting a move, significant move back up. So, interesting enough, when you look at this big picture, when we typically hit that bottom band, right, that's the resumption in trend. So is that going to continue? We'll see. I think tomorrow's kind of the determining factor, right? The other thing is that I just plotted this in here. This is the 50-period moving average. So again, that's holding as well. So remember what I say, the trend is our friend. It doesn't mean every day we're going to go up. And this was a 3-day pretty significant move to the downside. But what this may be giving us is a potential good buying opportunities, right? So I think it's too early to tell. I think tomorrow's the important day. If we head up higher tomorrow, then I think that's exactly what this is. Basically hitting the 50 period or coming close to the bottom Bollinger Band, then we're heading back higher, okay? The next 2 weeks are, in theory, are usually pretty bullish in the markets, okay? So I haven't had a short play on the stock side in a new short play in a while, and I don't plan on it, okay? I'm looking for discounts. If you look at the NASDAQ, right, same thing. Came down, hit that 50, and bounced. S&P, same thing. So we're just going to wait now. Interesting enough, we'll see if this Laguerre, when it opens up the new bar, starts curving yet, right? The curve can be again, then that might be the potential bottom of this move down, this 3-day move down. Could be a lot of profit taking. I mention all the time, when we get close to new highs, like we did here, oftentimes you get those retracements, right? Because there's a lot of orders out there at new highs. A lot of folks are taking profits, and a lot of folks, unfortunately, are losing money, okay? So it's been a slow week as far as new trades this week because I'm waiting to see what happens. I really like long side trades. So this could be some great discounting opportunities coming. All right, crude oil. So again, crude has been following the markets lately, right? We knew from a seasonal standpoint that we were looking for more short opportunities. Now what I'm looking for in order to short this, right, I didn't take this trigger because we've been in this massive uptrend. So now that we've come down, what I'm looking for is a retracement back up and then a potential short play when that happens, okay? So let me bring up my drawing tool and show you what I mean. Okay, so what I'm looking for is this. Oh, wow. Holy smoke, let me fix that. Is this right here. So I want it to come back up, maybe hit that 40 and roll over, okay? And maybe the RSI do something like that, okay? Or if we head back higher and we start rolling over, but the Laguerre's not in our perfect position we like, like right here, then we can go and look in entering at that 4 hour instead of the daily, okay? But This definitely looks like a break of the trend. Now, if we can get a lower high, okay, then we'll look to do short plays on crude oil. Again, which could be USO as an ETF, for example. So again, everything I apply here, I'm talking futures markets, you can play in the options or the ETFs, okay? All right, let me talk about gold. So again, gold's been really just consolidating, right? I mean, from here to here, we're basically kind of where we started. So, you know, not great trading environment for sure. That's kind of what we should be doing based off the seasonal indicator. And then when we get into late September here, we should have a dip, right? So we'll see. Again, we have an uptrend, consolidation. What's going to happen next? We can either go up or down, right? I think probably what we'll do is head higher before we head lower. But at this point, just be careful. It's just chop. It's just chop. Let's look at the dollar index. So again, remember the trend is our friend. So my issue has been massive downtrend, consolidation. Remember I said I wasn't going to take the first trigger long. Okay, typically a new low, you're going to get a bounce. We typically bottom mid-September here. So we're getting close. I'd like to see this come back down and maybe give us a higher low. That could be a potential entry for a reversal of trend, okay? But again, it's an aggressive trade because you've got this massive downtrend. Okay, there tends to be a lot of support right here, right? Look at that. So we could now continue back down first. Bonds. Bonds has been following a seasonal pattern fantastic, okay? I'm waiting now until later in September to short bonds. What I love to see is for it to come up higher and then roll back over. Maybe it'll test this roughly this 180 level, and then give us that Laguerre trigger short. That's what I'm waiting for right now on bonds. Again, which can be like TMF, TLT, a lot of those ETFs, okay? Euro. Let me clear this out for you. Oh, I did that again. Hold on one second. Okay. So what I meant to do was to remove the drawings. Okay. So again, big picture, we've been in this uptrend on the euro. It's been consolidating. Seasonal wise, we're really looking for just shorts at this point, right? So as I mentioned, I don't like the euro right now because it's just consolidating. What I'm hoping though is it breaks down like it should, comes back up, and then gives us that rollover right here as the entry then, okay? I'm not looking for the first entry here. All right, let's look at some of the stocks now. Well, let's talk VIX first. All right, so, you know, the VIX spiked up and now it's coming back down, right? Remember, when there is some fear in the market, it doesn't usually last that long, right? That's why moves down happen, and bigger moves down typically than bigger moves up, right? But now what you can see, we're getting close on the VIX of getting a short trigger on the Laguerre, which means lower, right? Which means stock market goes higher. So from a VIX perspective here, we'll see what happens, but this is telling me that we may be getting close to resuming that uptrend that we've been talking about, okay? Platinum. Well, let's look at the metals again. Same thing as gold. I like it short, but we need to get some sort of move up and give us a re-trigger to the short side on platinum. All right, Apple. So Apple took the hit as well, right? A lot of the NASDAQ stocks took hits. But what is that giving you? See this? We're getting close. We're getting close for a nice long play on Apple, okay? Not yet by definition of my rules. We'll see if tomorrow the Laguerre starts pointing up again, and there's our potential entry on Apple. Same thing with Amazon. So Amazon, been a little bit stronger in my opinion. We might just get the curvature back up. Those of you that are looking to buy your tech stocks, though, we're getting close. Google, same thing. Facebook, same thing, okay? Tesla. So interesting trade. On my alert service, late last week, I did a long play here off a 4-hour trigger. It was more aggressive, but we've been following this, and then it came to the bottom, to the middle band, and then it gapped down, and now it's back up. So I originally was going to get out of this last night for today's open, but when I saw the gap up, I'm in this position. I'm down like, I think it's roughly 40% of this option play, but I did a January expiration. So what my plan is for this trade on Tesla is this. If it rolls back over, I'm getting out, okay, very quickly. So if we basically get below this low here, I'm just going to get out because I'll look to re-enter. But this could have been the bottom, and then we can continue right back up on this extremely strong stock of Tesla. And I did a January expiration. You can see why. But really good potential entry point if you haven't got in yet on Tesla. NVIDIA, same thing. Okay, beautiful potential entry here. So again, if you're not in these, just wait for the triggers. You should be in really good shape on these. Zoom. Yeah, I don't have seasonal on Zoom, but I brought it up here because there's, it's been very popular trading instrument. It's been following the tech stocks. So basically we can assume it's a seasonal long and, potential entry when the Laguerre triggers for us. Citi. Again, all Citi's been doing is in this big box, right? But we know it's going to be breaking out. We had a short trigger there we're ignoring. Here's what we want. So on the financials, this is what we're looking for. It'll eventually break out, let it come back, and then take this right here. I think that's all of those. So again, big picture, that's really what we're looking at, folks, is, when I look at the spider, or when I look at the QQQ, okay, what this looks like to me at this point in time is we just had the retracement after a recent high, slam down, okay, and now we're going to recover. There's no reason for me not to really believe that based on all these other cases, right? I mean, you can have a case, well, was this going to crash? Was it going to crash here? Was it going to crash here? Is it going to crash here? So until it proves us wrong, these are good buying opportunities when we get that Laguerre heading back up, okay? What am I seeing from the sentiment standpoint? As of a little while ago, retailers are back to about 60% of them are short the market. Okay, we've been as high as 75%. So they are less short now than what they've been, but they're still short and they're starting to add to their shorts again, which again tells me, because unfortunately they're typically wrong, we're getting close to resume this trend back up, okay? So if I had to make a decision right now, between now and the next week, are we going higher or lower? I'm saying higher. But with that, I want to see what tomorrow brings. I want to see if we get a trigger long before I just throw in a bunch of stocks that are long, okay? Any questions on that, let me know. So on Tesla, AJ, that is my goal, is if again, if this closes below here in the next couple of days, I'm out, okay? Because I'm gonna get back in. There's no reason to keep the wound. But yes, it'll be amazing if we're getting the resumption in trend, before you know it, Tesla will be back up to highs, okay? And you know what I do is, when I trade multiple contracts, when I hit a 50% profit, I'm out of one contract of it. So let's say you're doing 2 contracts, okay? What I'll do is at a 50% profit, I'll get rid of one contract, okay? And then I look for the runner, that 200% that I do think I can get on Tesla here on that second contract, okay? But you don't want to turn a winning trade into a loser, okay? So that's why at 50%, I basically eliminate my risk. And if this does turn around tomorrow and we get out of this, when we get that trigger on the Laguerre, I'm re-entering, you know, or I'm going to look at what is better between Netflix or Apple, okay? But right now, Tesla's it for me, okay? Great question. Okay, so now let me take a look at some opportunities. Bear with me here. Let that load. If there's anything you want me to look at as well, feel free to type it in, and as I get a chance, I'll take a look for you, okay? Okay, so again, I mean, if you're bearish, some of you may be, again, I'm not, but if you are, you know, let's take a look at some of these for you. So here's one where BLDP has a larger move coming to the short side here, okay? Now, what I would be looking for, if I was going to short something like that, let it retrace and then give us that entry, okay? So we don't have a trigger, obviously. The one we have a trigger on short is CYH. So we have the trigger here with a good seasonal short. And that's why I want to show you this, okay? If you're bearish and you're looking for some good seasonal shorts, pick the ones that got the bigger moves coming, right? And you know, this is one that, just from a pure technical standpoint, right, it keeps retracing after it's hitting this level right here, okay? But you were in this uptrend consolidation. Now it should head down, you know, based on what it's been doing in the past. What other triggers? Any other triggers? So the next, AXU. So AXU had a trigger here with a 9% over the next 40 days move down, okay? So if you're looking to short something, another potential opportunity there, okay? Some of the bulls. So Alaska, right? The airlines have been super strong. So I'm expecting that to continue. I don't see any reason that it won't, okay? Again, it hit the bottom band, middle band. This is a trigger right here. Even during the 3-day market decline, Alaska just kind of held its own, right? That is bullish, okay? That is bullish. So again, look for opportunities to enter there. let's see here. We've got CCO, Clear Channel, had a trigger back here with a seasonal long. Again, it's been doing well during the decline. That's always, a good sign. If you're looking to enter in something like that, you're probably gonna have to go in at a 4-hour. The last trigger was right here. One thing I've been looking at is John Deere. The seasonal starting now, and we've been in this long play. Okay, very nice trend. So in these cases, even with the Laguerre trigger short, it didn't do much. So again, your best way to get into Deere, if you're looking to get into Deere, is off the 4-hour at this point. Okay, wait on the next 4-hour trigger. Let's look at 20 days out here. So in the next 20 trading days, the airlines, here's Delta, right? So airlines, Alaska, the airlines are typically really good moves coming. CNHI is another really good one. It's been in that nice uptrend. Obviously, Apple's heading higher. Okay, so a couple requests. Let me look at these here. SH. So SH obviously has a nice seasonal short, right? So you're just waiting for that trigger. Follow the trend. DRD. So again, what I like about this opportunity here, longer term expiration, will probably come back up to this top band. So as an opportunity here, currently in this, I'm holding. Facebook. Again, 10 years of seasonality is not there yet, but it's with the tech stocks, right? So what I'd be looking for to go take a long play here is get that Laguerre curving back up. Okay, let that Laguerre curve back up. You're right at the middle, 20 period there. Okay, Facebook between now and the end of the month should hit new highs. AMSC. So here's a great example, folks. Thank you for this, David. Let me bring this up. So massive uptrend, right? Trends are friend. Well, look at the seasonal on AMSC. Until what? Mid-October, it's to the downside. So does that mean it's going to go lower? Well, it has historically, but you're fighting this uptrend. Okay? So here's what's interesting. Here's where this white line comes into play. What should have happened right here, okay, in middle of June, right here, that we should have been going lower. This year, we've been heading higher, okay? So there's no way I'm going to look to short this because this has been stronger than the seasonal short that it should have been, okay? So what I mean by this is when we get into November, this would be a really good long opportunity because it's been stronger this year than it has in the past, okay? Or you can just look at it and say, you know what, there's so many things to trade. This has not been acting normal this year, so let me just skip it. Okay, those are your options right now on AMSC. So thanks for bringing that one, because that's how you can read the lag line, the white dotted line. That white dotted line means this is what it's been doing year over year. Okay, and then you can see when it was supposed to head down, it actually headed up significantly, right? So certainly I'm not going to short this. Certainly not going to short this. All right, let me talk some futures as well here. Let me bring up sugar first. Okay, so sugar typically is bullish pretty significantly right now until October. Okay, so if this continues higher, I'm going to get filled on sugar. We can also do an ETF trade on sugar, or you can grab a stock that has a good correlation. Okay. Let me grab one real quick to tell you. Bear with me 1 second. So one stock that's highly correlated with sugar is HZO. Okay, look at that. It looks like the sugar chart almost, right? So Marine Max is highly correlated to sugar. Anybody know why? Anyway, so, you know, just waiting on that trigger. This could be a really good opportunity coming, right, on HZO. Okay, so I'm going to sort by the next 20 days out. RBOB gasoline, you know, we've been talking about looking for shorts on this, just like crude oil, okay? I didn't take this trigger right here because we were fighting this massive trend. Again, what I like to do in these type of market conditions, wait for it to retrace. As long as then we have a lower high, then that is my entry right there, okay? That to me is the safest way to play those. Some other good opportunities from the long side here. Soybean meal made its move a little bit early this year, which is bullish, okay? So all we're looking for on something like this is to come back, hit that middle band, give me a new trigger, and then that'll be a great trade on soybean meal. Oats. We're getting ready. So again, have a sell trigger. No way I'm taking that. Look at that seasonal. Okay, so what I'm looking for is this. Maybe we'll get a double bottom, and then we'll get a trigger long on oats. That could be a great play back up to this 300 level, okay? Orange juice. So typically in mid-September, we head higher on orange juice, okay? So now it's just a waiting game. You know, it's not the best looking chart, right? It's just, it headed up, retraced a little bit. But if you like to trade orange juice, on the next trigger, you got a high probability of it heading higher. Okay, a couple other recommendations that people are asking about. Nike. So Nike's, you know, bull market on Nike. So we need the Laguerre. We need to get a price retracement. So between now and March, you'll be able to get a nice trade at some point here on Nike. You just need to be patient. Wait for the retracement. If it's just going to respect the 20 period here, go off a 4 hour on your next trigger. Okay, PRTY. Okay, not enough seasonal data, but trend is our friend. If I was going to make a trade here, wait for that Laguerre, kind of just like Nike. You need a retracement, maybe go to a 4-hour. So same type of trade there, okay? Okay, just bringing up TradeStation here. Okay, so CEM. What I did here, folks, so I talked, I think, a little bit about this last week. Okay. One of the things that I'm able to do with TradeStation is I have my seasonal indicator combined with the Laguerre, that it only shows me moves in the Laguerre triggers that are in the direction of the seasonal. So pretty cool stuff, right? So I can sort through all these stocks. Okay, you can do 1,000. It can handle 1,000. And as of this morning, there were 3 longs and 3 short opportunities based off the criteria. Again, I can adjust this. I said I need a 5% move on a stock over the next 60 days. And you can change that to 3%, 8%, 4%. You can change it to 20 days, 90 days, 60 days, whatever you want, okay? But I did 5% over the next 60 days. So these 6 stocks have a 5% move coming over the next 60 days that have a Laguerre trigger, okay? So, you know, for example, you can see the triggers right here, okay? FRO, you can see the trigger right here, okay? That's how, when people ask me, how can you scan through all those different stocks? And you can do the same thing with futures and Forex. Okay, this is telling me. Now, not everybody uses, you know, some people will take the Laguerre even if there's not any significant seasonality, right? So again, I can still sort just by Laguerre here. Let me do that, okay? Or this is the combo, I'm sorry, by combo. So if you're looking for combo trades, right, the green line, right, CHL has one. URN has a combo trade. Okay, but the cool thing about TradeStation is it's like your workstation where you can just mix and match and very quickly, you know, look for your entries, right? So I can go back, you know, to my Laguerre. I can also add just the Laguerre trigger, right? That way you'll get more opportunities, but you're not, you know, one way to get more opportunities, let me change this to say, okay, I just want something that has a positive move coming, 1% over the next 60 days, okay? Then more than likely, once this recalculates, we may see some more opportunities, okay? We got to give it a minute to do its calculation. So you can already see some more there. So let me resort, okay? So now we have some more opportunities, okay? We went from 6 to what, 10? But that's only with a 1% move. I like to look at larger percent moves with the Laguerre, okay? So like ABC, Amerisource. You know, one thing I like about it is we tend to be right here at this 95, 96 level, then it heads back up. We've got the seasonal in our direction, and we got a Laguerre trigger. Okay, granted it was a false signal on the first one, okay? So if I had to pick my favorite opportunity from that right now, it's still calculating. That's why it's giving us more now, okay? Here's one that's got, if you're looking to short, okay, you have a combo on CLF, Cliff, okay? So you have a 6% move coming short, and you got a combo trade, okay? So if you're a bear, maybe Cleveland Cliff is your destiny. Who knows, right? The last trigger short was nice. But that's how you can mix and match with the radar screen. You know, if I want to resort that CHL, right? Right here. CHL. Got a 3% move down coming. You have a combo long in the opposite direction. Ignore it, right? Just ignore it. That's the benefit of having a trading system, that you're really just looking for the highest probabilities. Any questions? Okay. Let me grab my Thinkorswim here. Bear with me. Okay. All right, so Jim asked a great question. Let's talk about the Laguerre a little bit here. Okay, this indicator right here. So the blue line is the actual trigger, right? When it closes above the green, it's a long. When it closes below, oops, sorry about that. When it closes below the red, it's a short, right? I know a lot of traders that will just use that in conjunction with the trend and take it in the direction of the trend. You can be very successful that way. If you then also have the seasonal component, you're going to be even more successful, right? So what a lot of folks will ask about is, what the heck, Dr. Keith, is this gold line, okay? Do I use it? So I do at times. Let me explain what it is. What it's actually called is fractal energy, okay? The best way to explain it is this. It's the amount of energy being built up in the market, okay? So as an example, here's actually a really good example to demonstrate. Here's how I use it. You can see how the energy is built up here, right? It's building higher. You're getting more energy in the market, okay? It doesn't tell you direction. It's just saying there's a lot of energy coming into this particular market, okay? So that then you look to see, is there a trigger coming, okay? And then you have a feeling that it's going to go in that direction based off of that, okay? So let me bring something else up, like dollar index. So interesting enough, okay, we have that trigger short here, okay? And look how fractal energy was doing. It was increasing, telling us potentially we're going to get a bigger move coming. And of course we did. So that's how I use it. No, I don't look at it all the time, as far as, you know, it can help you when you get a Laguerre trigger with a lot of energy in the market. You know, you have more confidence potentially that the bigger move's coming. The other way you can use it is if the fractal energy becomes really, really low, okay, what it's telling you is that move might just be about over. So the energy was low here. We had a Laguerre trigger long. What did you get? You got a retracement, okay? Because the energy out of this down move was over. Okay, the exact same thing here, okay? So that's how I use fractal energy in my trades. You know, when it's not doing a whole lot of anything, I don't pay attention. But when you get a big move up on something, so let's look at Tesla again. So when we had this big move up, okay, look what fractal energy was doing during that. So this was telling us the move, whatever move in direction is going, in this case it was higher, is exhausted, okay? And then we have this pullback, okay? Now energy started rising again. So if this keeps rising and we get a trigger long, which direction do we conclude that this should go in? It should resume the trend and break new highs, okay? So no, it's nothing to do with the ADX, which is more of a trend indicator. This has to do with the amount of energy in that particular market, okay? So ideally, what I would love to see here, this, let's continue higher and get a trigger long telling me, here we go, okay? Great question. I love those questions because, again, sometimes I just forget, right? Because I see this, I live this, I breathe it. So that's why I love, that's the purpose of these sessions, is to answer those type of questions. All right, so again, what I'm looking for between now and next Wednesday is to hit new highs. If the market turns around and continues down, okay, it's got to break this level, this Bollinger Band. Then I think we'll get a significant decline if that happens, okay? But I think we're holding. Okay, I think we're holding. Everything I'm seeing at this point was just a 3-day retracement, freak traders out, get them to go short, and then we'll bust higher. Okay, that's all I see this as of right now. So between now and next week when we talk, I won't be surprised. There'll be one of two things, okay? Here's my prediction. We'll either be down to 25,000 or at new highs, okay? But I think with 90% probability, we're heading higher. So a good discount here, good discount, okay? All right, I see a couple questions here. They are recorded, David, and if, since you registered, she sends out the recording. So if you don't get it, check your spam. And then if you still don't see it later on tonight, for example, send me an email. And it's also posted on my public YouTube, okay? Can you use 4-hour time frame rather than daily? So Ed, you can use the 4-hour, okay? Here's my only caution. If you just look at, the triggers, and you're willing to trade, anything that has enough volume, you're going to have plenty of triggers each day, okay? You're going to have plenty of triggers each day off the daily. The daily is more significantly higher probability because it's more data, right? But when you have a trend, okay, like Amazon, sometimes it's hard to get in here. Now, we've been really lucky, right? We've been able to get in off the daily here, soon to be here. Okay, this will be another great entry on Amazon, okay, when we get that curvage. But in some cases, the trend will be so strong, the Laguerre's not giving you that opportunity, so then you go to the 4-hour. So that's how I do it. If I want to get in, we got a big percent move coming, let's say, okay? Let's look at Apple again. Goodness, if I could type today, okay? So if it wasn't going to give us a better trigger there, Apple gave us a nice trigger too, though. But let's say in here you were trying to get in at this curve, okay? That's when you go to your 4-hour chart and you can go back and look at, like here's an entry right here, okay? Because when you're in a massive uptrend, your 4-hour chart, your entries are always going to work out, okay? Okay, so that's how I do it in a very, very strong uptrend. So if you have stocks that have a great seasonal play, but they keep hitting new highs, or they're extending where you're not getting a good daily trigger, go to that 4 hour. You'll be extremely successful with that as well. Okay. Wow, this time goes by fast, doesn't it? One other thing. So cotton. Here's another great example. Okay. Massive uptrend, massive seasonal play. So now we're just patient. Okay, same, different instrument. You just follow that same system though. So what I'm looking for here, other than remove my drawings, okay? In this case, I'm lucky enough I get to be patient and wait for the next Laguerre trigger and make money on cotton, okay? And that's going to be very soon. That's going to be very soon. That's what we want. We want the trend, we want the seasonal, and then we want the Laguerre, okay? All right, folks, so that's what I have for today. Are there any questions? And again, if you don't, by tomorrow at this time, you can always go to my YouTube, and once it's uploaded, you'll see it there. But if you're not getting them, again, there might be a spam issue. We're having spam issues, but we're trying to fix that. So if you don't email us, that way we can check to see what's going on, okay? But everybody should be copies of these, but they're definitely will be posted on my public YouTube, okay? Well, all right, folks, we'll have a great rest of the week. Again, I think we'll be higher next week than we are today. Bulls keep ruling, in my opinion. So if you have anything you need, reach out. Other than that, see you on the next webinar, folks. Take care now.